everybody, welcome back to UniXDBS, and today we are going to talk briefly about the results, final standings of the Kansas City Regional, hosted by the goated TO PPG, that's Pro Play Games, and you can always go over there to check out plenty of pre-orders for not just Dragon Ball Super, but also, One Piece, as well as Digimon. They sell singles, they sell sealed, they do pre-orders, so it's a pretty good place to be. I'll put the link down in the description right there. The other thing, though, before we get into this, because this is going to be just a brief thing since we don't have deck lists, we will dive way deeper into that once we get them. But just want to say, normal shoutouts, if you haven't already, go by the official Dragon Ball Super Card Game Facebook group to like that, where you get all the official announcements so you can know more about these events coming up. At the same route, you could also follow the PPG page because they will also let you know about the events they're hosting. You got the unofficial discussion group, as well as the Universe X Discord. You got links to whole just slew of content down in the description. So yeah, go there, check it out. Now that we're done with that, I do want to go into just the list. The meat and potatoes, I'll talk about some other stuff later. But the list of tops, right? This is a pretty cool list. So right now, it was I believe a 30-something person regional. It was just about 40. So it was very small, and that does kind of hurt the sample size, but still hats off to everybody that showed up and performed. What we have currently are I'll go from 8 up, right? Actually, I don't see 8 on this list. It stops at 7. I apologize for that. But I believe it was Red Sin. If I'm not mistaken, 8th place was Red Sin. If I'm wrong on that, let me know in the comments. I'll definitely update that. But you've also gotten 7th place Red Sin, 6th place Set 18 Gogeta, that's Gogeta GT, 5th place Red Sin, 4th place Cell Starter, 3rd place Yellow Trunks, 2nd place Red Sin, and 1st place SS3 Goku Reboot, piloted by Dane from the Joe crew. Shoutouts to him. So what we're looking at is very interesting. Now this is the very first tournament held in the Zenkai format, very first regional Zenkai format. And the thing we have to understand about that, and once again, we're not taking away anything from anybody that's here, but the things we do have to take away from this is that at the beginning of this, since it hasn't even been out for a full week, actually the cards outside the pre-release have only been open for mass, sale through your stores on Friday. So most of this stuff probably came from the pre-releases and people, selling it secondhand. Now, with that being said, you're looking at a bunch of decks that cannot currently be easily crafted. Not only was this a small event, but you also have a bunch of people that may not have been able to get the cards they need. So this is going to cause certain decks like SS3 Reboot, Yellow Trunks, Cell, and to actually not be more prevalent, because these are all kind of I think at this moment they'd be kind of more roguish picks, but they were definitely more powerhouses from the last format. Now you can see the people that came here with Red Sin and felt like they knew how to play it definitely made some waves. This is half of the top 8, if I'm not mistaken, is Red Sin. But as we get into the format, and I think actually even earlier in the standings, we saw there was Gamma and Trunks G at the top tables a couple times in the rounds. But we're gonna see that as we get further and further into the format and more people get comfortable with these decks, you're gonna see a lot more things, because I still put it up here. Gogeta should be, I think Gogeta could easily be a 2 of in most top 8s, and we're gonna see some Monkey Gokus. But the Monkey Gokus are also just, I think that it's a little more pilot intensive, and it's yellow, so a lot of people might be a little yellow shy because yellow's been here for quite a bit. But that being said, I think there's a lot to go off here. Red Sin is going to be the boogeyman of the format. If this, even with this small sample size and how close it is to the beginning of the format, I think that Red Sin has solidified itself. Even if it's not as broken as people think it is, just this showing is going to put it in people's heads like it is. So the things we're gonna have to get into the channel later are about combating Red Sin, but it's just pretty good. Right now it is a solid red deck that doesn't have any crushing matchups, I don't think, but it also doesn't have many blaring weaknesses. Most of its matchups are 50-50 at worst, and that's a very good place to be in a format that's new and wide open. Once it gets its boss card online, you are sitting there able to ruin people's fields with minus effects. But the other important part is it has access to crit pressure on almost any of its threats because of one of the dragons. So I think it's Haze. So when you're establishing, especially when you win the die roll, because it counts for some reason, the Omega 8-drop counts your energy, not your opponent's. I hate that. Like, I hate it when it counts your opponent's energy because, you know, it sucks for going first. But I hate it when it counts your energy because it's too broken going first. And being able to be on your turn 3 with them having 2 energy and being able to land a 2-drop, what's it called? A 2-drop, like, triple striker over 30k and then give it crit with Haze, that's just a little wow. Like, that's kind of a lot, sir. And that's something that can catch people very much so lacking. You're going to be able to get hit really hard, and crit is still one of the best keywords in the game. You don't see it on everything, but when it is on something, it's going to hurt. So having the potential of losing the die roll and then getting caught off guard or getting caught without the resources to battle it and taking a triple strike crit to the face, yeah, no. Yeah, no, that's gonna hurt. That's gonna hurt really bad. So yeah, Sin has great early game pressure. It accumulates its pressure as the mid game into its late game. It's good. It's going to be the standard boogeyman for the format at the start, and I think it's just establishing itself like that already. Past that, looking at some of this, Gogeta, I think Gogeta will actually kind of catch on more. Like, all the Gogeta cards are more expensive. Gogeta's been hyped, he's a hype character. I think as the pack gets circulated, I think Gogeta's going to have a lot more representation than this. I think the two most represented decks are going to be like Sin and Gogeta. Gogeta based off of hype and then performance afterwards, Sin based off of performance and, you know, the word of mouth hype afterwards. So that's going to be pretty normal. I wish we had a top 16, but that's like literally half the tournament, so I guess that's why we just got the top 8. But I'll go around and see if I can find out, you know, what some of these other decks are, maybe in a follow-up video. But I'm having fun looking at this. Once again, congrats to Dane. Dane has been playing SS3 for a while, and Blue is just at a point where it's got so many generic cards, you just gotta figure out what kind of format you're playing in, and then go from there. So if he knew he was gonna be playing a lot of Sin, and I think he played at least 4 Sin in his 8 rounds, if he knew he was going to be playing a lot of Sin, and he made sure that his matchup was solid, that's all he really needed to do to pull that out. So I'm glad about that. You've got Yellow Trunks, which is strong, but that was piloted by Eddie St. Hilaire. So Eddie, he could play just about anything. He's a monster. So I'm not really surprised. He played it like he was comfortable with, and he's going to be playing better than most of the people he happens to play against. That's just a fact. Other notable mentions from me, you've got Eggman in there, Hayden, sitting there in 5th place with Red Sin. Go get it, dude. And then you also have Juha sitting there with Red Sin as well. So all in all, like, people were getting it in. Yeah, he was 8th place, so it is Red Sin. So yeah, it's a lot of people were playing the valid decks, and this is a nice little thing to see at the beginning. Now, like I said, I do want to see the next couple of just actual, like, more regionals, because as we put them in more central locations, like if we get regionals on Florida, or we start getting some more online regionals, we'll start to see how the meta is going to shape, because this, I do have to say, is a very small sample size. There's not a lot of people here at this tournament, and that will kind of skew some things. But I still will hold steady in saying that I think that we're going to see, at very minimum, we're about to see SS4 Gogeta, Sin, Monkey Goku, and I do think Gotenks completes that 4 square. Like, I think people need to play some more games with it, because Gotenks is actually ferocious. It does some things. But that being said, this is just the start. This is the very first one. I don't really like when there are events this close to the release of a set, and I say this like Nationals isn't about to come within weeks of us getting Zenkai 2. But it's really hard to take some of the results seriously when it was this close, because yes, some of these decks are good, but more people will be apt to play the tried and true decks because they haven't learned the new decks yet or haven't received the cards, which makes it very hard to start off the format and try to gauge, you know, get your sample data off of that. But it is what it is. I'm definitely going to be paying a lot of attention. You're going to be getting a lot more tournament reports from me. I have the time to actually catch up on them, look at them. And so we should be having a good time. Do want to close this out saying that the road to 2K is very strong. We're less than 50 subscribers away. So if you want to join the Unix fam today, go down there, subscribe to the video. You want to help it trend, like it, comment, and we will get much bigger. We're going to get much bigger. We're going to do a lot more things. I have a lot of plans, and I'm just starting to put them in motion, and we're going to see a lot of progress. Also, if you're looking at One Piece 2, I am going to the super pre-release, and I will be able to pull some products. So we'll be looking at some box openings, starter deck openings, stuff like that. Show some stuff. I'll be selling some stuff. Yeah, it's a bunch of stuff. So yeah, thanks for tuning in. I will see you guys the next time you decide to join Universe X. Later.